And I distinctly remember going to put in my first acupuncture point into somebody, and I was so nervous. I guess what I was thinking was like, what am I going to do here? I'm going to cause like a horrendous amount of damage. It's going to be terrible. So in this episode, I'm going to give you a little bit of a story, a backstory on how I got into acupuncture in the first place. I guess some of the common mistakes that I see that like new people to this do, and certainly what I did back in the early days, and just kind of giving a bit of a flavour of what advice would I give myself if I kind of did this all again. And I'm teaching people on a very regular basis who are brand new to this, so this isn't, I guess, too difficult for us to recall this, because even though it was like 20 odd years ago, I kind of still remember the stuff. So I started off, I'm a physiotherapist by background. I was in the NHS and I had aspirations to be Newcastle United's physiotherapist. So if you've ever seen a webinar from me before, this is a story I've told many, many, many times. But in effect, that's what I wanted to be. Right? I was never going to be good enough to play football at any kind of level, because I've got plenty of mates who would agree with that. But I was never going to play football to anything meaningful, not even on a social level. But I love it. Come from Newcastle, want to be part of Newcastle, wanted to be a physio, and that kind of like those two things married up. And really, I didn't have any interest in acupuncture and dry needling per se. Like, I'd heard about it. It was a little bit, ooh, what is that? And it was always associated with very experienced musculoskeletal practitioners. So I think I kind of knew that at some point in time I'd be having to do this. But if I'm honest, I was probably a little bit apprehensive about it. The idea of sticking a needle in somebody, it's a bit weird, right? Like, certainly if you've never done it before. But what I saw acupuncture and dry needling was a way of like getting into that musculoskeletal world. So when you first start out, certainly as a physio, it might be different for those of you that are chiros, osteos, that kind of thing. Starting out as a physio, you're not always going to go straight into MSK. And I knew that I wanted to do musculoskeletal physio. So I was like, right, well, I know I want to go down that road. How can I almost like fast track myself getting into MSK, and then obviously going subsequently on to be Newcastle United physio? How can I get myself into the best possible position? So I was thinking to myself as like, well, how do I advertise myself? How do I stand out from the crowd, from everybody else? Because it seemed to be that like every other physio wanted to be an MSK physio, or at least in my head anyway. So I thought, well, what are these experienced physios doing? What are these people doing who have got this job? How can I make myself useful to a department? All right, I'll go and train in acupuncture. So I remember what I did. I contacted a local trainer. I was like, look, thinking about doing acupuncture. Yeah, I'll come to you and we'll deliver the course. I had to go and get many, many, many people. I remember thinking at the time, I've had no experience in this whatsoever, right? Like, organization was definitely not my strong point. Still isn't one of my strong points. I mean, I've got a team of like 20 odd people now. Thankfully, like, we have some organizers in there, because that's not me by nature. And so I organized this acupuncture course. I remember it was in an old physio department. It was upstairs. It was like we kind of cleared the beds out. I think we did it over like 3 weekends. I mean, nowadays we do it over 1 3-day like intensive workshop. But back then, like, there was no online learning. There was none of that kind of stuff. So I remember doing that. I remember the trainer had this massive box of just like a myriad of needles, like lots of different shapes, sizes, like things he must have collected on over the time. And I distinctly remember going to put in my first acupuncture point into somebody, and I was so nervous. I remember thinking, like, I guess what I was thinking was like, what am I going to do here? I'm going to cause like a horrendous amount of damage. It's going to be terrible. Like, I was literally putting a needle into, I think it was his hand, right at the beginning. So like, for those of you that know this, like large intestine 4. Like, now, I wouldn't do that like nowadays. Like, I wouldn't start off with that acupuncture point, but I remember being so nervous that like the needle just didn't go in. My tap wasn't like good enough. Like, it was just all over the place. And very like luckily, I remember who I was doing practicing this on. It was somebody who I'd actually trained with at university, and he was older than me. Dave, if you watch him, hi. And I don't know why this sticks in my mind, but I remember Dave just kind of, I guess, being that kind of like settling of me nerves and just going to go, look, just stick it in. Nothing bad's going to happen. And he was right. Like, I tapped the needle in, got the needle in, and from then on in, it was like, all right, this is okay. This is not so bad. So I remember those days, right? I remember, like, those years who are thinking about training in acupuncture, but bit nervous about it, or maybe you booked onto a course and you're like, oh, what am I going to be like? Like, I remember it. Everyone's been in this situation about sticking a needle. Somebody, the first time you do it, it just feels a bit like, But what I've kind of figured out over the years, and like one of my bits of advice I give to people all the time is, look, what's the worst that's going to happen here? When you're needling the arms and the legs, there's nothing there to worry about. There's no structures that you're going to cause permanent damage to. There's nothing serious that's going to happen. It's a bit different when we get to the trunk and the torso, but when we're talking about the limbs, which is where you start off on, you're okay. And I think that's really, it's a good reassurance. Sometimes what I say to people is like, look, how many internal organs are there in your arm? And people are like, look at you and go, well, none. Well, then, so what are you going to do? Like, there's no danger here. There's nothing to worry about. And I try to do that to kind of reassure people that this is going to be okay. So yeah, I think that's one of the things I would say to the newbies is like, when you first start out putting needles in people, don't worry about it, right? Like, it's fine. This has been done for a long time. You're not going to cause any major damage. I then remember kind of subsequently going on to be a clinician. So you finished your course and then you can start needling people. I know what I did, which I wouldn't do now, and which I advise people to do now, is make sure that you're giving the optimal dose right from the beginning. So don't be like really hesitant. Don't be like just putting like 1, 2, 3, 4 needles in. Go for the full 7 or 10. Go right from the beginning. Go for it. And I think what I was for quite a while actually is like really hesitant about how many needles to put into somebody. Like, how many should I do? How long should I leave them in for? Like, hovering around and not doing Tai Chi, so not stimulating the needles. Do all of that, right? You need to do all of that right from the bat, right from the off. And again, those years who are kind of looking to come onto the course and what have you, you do so much needling on the course that you're going to be fine with this. You're going to know how long to leave needles in for, how many to do, stimulating the needles. But I do see this from time. In fact, you know what I would say? Like, I see this with like really experienced practitioners as well. They're still just a little bit too nervous about putting enough needles in, stimulating the needles, leaving them in for long enough. So it's probably all about dosage would be my kind of like big, make sure you get that right. Because if you're going to get it right, you're going to much more likely see the results. You're much more likely going to see these dramatic changes, the symptoms. If you're going to kind of pare it back, if you're not going to do a proper good dose, like, instead of giving somebody like, I don't know, like in an exercise terms, you're not going to give somebody an exercise that's going to like really work that muscle or work the range of movement of that joint. If you're only going to kind of just tickle around the outsides, you're not expecting to see that massive results, right? Same with acupuncture. If your dosage isn't right, if you're not just going to go straight away, right from the beginning, this is the dose that I'm going to use, you're probably less likely to have a positive effect. So that's where I'd go with that. That would be my advice. The other bit, I think what I did well on this, when I kind of look back on this, I did acupuncture and dry needling training really early on in my career. If the option had been there, I would have probably, I would advise to do it either just before I train or just after I train. And the reason that that's kind of like a strong recommendation now is that this is a skill that you can use across all different sides of specialties. It doesn't really matter who you're working with and what you're trying to deal with. There's probably an approach you could use acupuncture with. Maybe it's not as your first line intervention, but it's something that you could probably use really early on in somebody's treatment plan and get some really good results. And I really see acupuncture and dry needling complementing all of the other stuff that I would do. And I'm talking as a physio, but if you're an osteo, a chiro, a midwife, a nurse, it doesn't really matter what your background is, this will complement the other stuff that you do. And I think that although that I did do this really early on, because I wanted to be Newcastle United's physio, I wasn't, by the way, never came to fruition. But if I did it early on because I knew where I wanted to go, but if I could have done it earlier, I would have definitely done it earlier. And my advice to people is if you're a end of your degree, or you've just finished your degree, or like just really early on in your career, doing something like this is going to just stand you in good stead. It's going to look really good on your CV. It's going to help you with your clinical reasoning. But moreover, really, this is just going to give you an extra tool, something else you could potentially offer somebody that you can't do. You can't go and learn this just like on YouTube or whatever. Like, you've got to go and do something like a formal certificate in this. Fine, you probably get that, like sticking needles in, but doing it as early as possible in your career just means that you're going to be able to evolve your understanding and your implementation of different treatment protocols, and you're going to have that as part and parcel of your day-to-day practice. So I think that's why I would say do it as early on as possible. All right. That was a short one. Hope that's been interesting. I hope that's been helpful. If you are one of those people who have already signed up and you're kind of waiting to get started, just make sure that you're accessing all of the online stuff, all of that theoretical stuff. There's not loads of it there, but particularly around the contraindications, precautions, just so you've got your safety stuff there. If you're just a little bit curious about, well, how do we do this in terms of teaching it? How do we do it in terms of putting your needles in? Go and look at those demo videos. There's plenty on there. You don't have to actually do them, but that might just help ease some of your nerves. If you haven't done an acupuncture course or you haven't signed up already, get in touch with us, right? We've got contact forms, we've got WhatsApp, we can get us on social media or on our DMs. We've been doing this a long time now. We've been doing this well over 15 years. I've got a group of fantastic tutors who teach people all over the globe. So we're definitely well placed. Obviously, you've found our podcast, so you know that what we're talking about. We know what we're talking about. Like I say, we've been doing it a long time. We've got loads of lush reviews as well on Google, so go and check us out. Get in touch with us. Like, comment, and share. You hear it in every single podcast, I'm sure. But if you do one of those three things, like, commenting, and sharing, it just helps us know, is this stuff that you want to see? Is this stuff that's helpful? All right, see you soon.